Alright, so what you are seeing is basically the house that I grew up in from when I was a kid to when I was about 16 or something like that, when I moved in with my dad for like a year for my last year of high school. But as you can see, it's pretty bad. Pretty bad. It really wasn't. I don't remember it being that great to begin with anyway. But it's definitely gotten worse over the years. So I came in here to Mount Airy this weekend for Easter, but also I was wanting to come back and check this out. Basically, about 54 weeks ago, my mother passed, which is still under investigation apparently, and she was living here. So this is the first time I've come back here to the house. I came back in Mount Airy in October for the for the Autumn Leaves Festival, but I didn't come back by here. My brother is trying to repair this place, I guess you can say. So I just come by here and see how it's changed since I've been here last and from what I remember it as a kid. So I was going around, I was taking some photos. I'm probably gonna get some shots of B-roll of here. Then what you can't see right now is because here is my mother's house. Then just over here was her father's house. And it's pretty much in ruins too. A lot of these places up here are they're I mean, people may live in them, but they're barely livable. I grew up here, and ever since I got away from here, I've tried to get away and stay away from it as much as I can. But I spent a large amount. I'm 31 now, so 16 is half my life here, and it wasn't great. So I don't know, people can live or thrive in shitty situations and shitty environments. Obviously there's worse than this, but this isn't as you can see, this isn't the country club. So yeah. So I will say that my brother that's working on this, he's not here right now, so I'm not able to get into the house. So I think he may be out for work the whole weekend, and I'm leaving to go back to Ohio tomorrow afternoon, so I may not be able to get in this time. So I'm just gonna grab shots of the outside. So yeah, but I mean, the outside itself, I mean, it's not just it's not just this house or this hill in this specific area. For what I've seen, especially growing up here, in Mount Airy, there seems to be, maybe it's all places, I don't know, it seems to be more, maybe it's more extreme here because I was in it, but there definitely seems to be a very strong divide between kind of the, there's a very rich, influential country club area that I think within last year they got $500,000 just to bury the power lines on Main Street to make it more aesthetic. But there is also areas like this in Mount Airy that are like very, like, probably not technically legally livable, but people live here anyway. And what exactly that has to deal with, whether it's just maybe it has something to do with because I know my mother, when she was growing up, she lived on a farm, and her father, the house behind here, like, they grew up on a farm, so I don't know if it has something to do with, like, farming, or, like, the whole Appalachian mountain thing, where they're like they don't care what it is, but it's theirs, so they're gonna take care of it to a certain degree. Or it's just maybe like a bigger divide between the rich and poor, or what. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but there definitely seems to be growing. Maybe more in the southern states, I'm not sure. So, I mean, there's also, I know in Ohio too, there's a whole opioid thing that I think is going on in the whole like Appalachian area as well. So, yeah, I don't know. It's something I've tried to get away from and put a lot of distance between me and it ever since I was able to. I mean, it's like a huge, like, it's like well, when I was growing up here, like, I saw it as like a small town, nothing's really going on, there wasn't really a whole lot of jobs, and so I was wanting to get out, so I ended up like enlisting in the military, you know, when I was like 17 to get out of here. Ended up doing that, did 4 years, then stayed in that one area for like another 2 years, community college, and like went up to Ohio to get my bachelor's, and like kind of stayed up there afterwards. As I graduated with my bachelor's in 2013, yeah, it's 2018, but it's just the whole coming back here is, I don't know. It's when you look at it, it's a very real, in your face, visceral thing that I like grew up in and was wanting to get away from, and for the longest time, still even now, not wanting to be reminded that I was in it, part of it, whatever you call it. But I think at some point you have to, it was obviously a part, or is a part of me, so you just gotta accept it's part of you, I guess. I don't know. So, yeah. I'm out here filming, and of the grass, there's like wild onion grass out here. If I remember right, like like when you smell something, like the olfactory gland is like closest to the memory, so smell can really bring back a memory. So that seems like kind of something about onion grass and onions and all that stuff. It's something that I remember to be kind of a positive, happy thing that I remember. And just being out here, it's kind of like all over the place. Because you can look, there's like grass, there's like little things that are like sprouting up. Like there's all this grass, and this sprouting up onion grass, that's onion grass, all this is like onion grass. So it's very like prevalent here where I grew up. And it's something I just, because like I remember like, I mean I still like just eating onions raw, and maybe that's part of the reason why, is because of that. It's kind of it's like a smell that, like I have, it's like positive, happy memories about it. So there's something I smelled while I was out here filming. Also, this is my mother's father's place. So like growing up, there's like a, goes back over here, you have like, you got a highway, then you got a road, and as soon as you get on this road, there's like a gravel path that leads up here to this kind of like this mound hill area. And growing up, there was like 3, 4, 5, like 6 houses up here. There's like 6 houses and some buildings, and like all of it was like part of the family growing up. Like, I mean, like literally, there were like cousins and uncles and aunts and all that stuff growing up here. So that was like, there's definitely some interconnectedness, and it's, I mean, none of that's here now. Like that building's bad. This one's horrible. There's one out there that's like terrible. Like it's very like dilapidated. It's, I mean, I guess some people could like refer to it as definitely like white trash. I mean, there's not trailers, but it's still like horrible rinky-dink DIY fucking houses and shit. And it seems, from what I've seen, that seems very like Appalachian. And this area is like in the foothills, like at the base of the fucking mountains. So I guess it's very prevalent. I was growing up here, and even my father, like, it seems like there's a lot of correlation with like, maybe not like the psychological like hoarder mentality, but like, I mean, granted, when you live like not in a city, you have more space to save stuff too, as opposed to living in a city, you only have limited space. But like out here, and even like a lot of people in the country, they'll have like huge, if they're able to, they'll have like huger garages where they have all this stuff to store, because you're able to like store stuff and just have it there. If you need it, you have it. You don't have to like throw it away. Then like a year later, you need it and go and rebuy it. So it's that whole mentality of maybe not having a lot, but being able to make do with it. So yeah, that kind of went off on a tangent, but yeah, because there used to be like huge like cherry tree, black cherries maybe, huge cherry tree. There was like a, I think there was like a tree here at some point, and up there was like a crabapple tree, which is like these small like little sour apples. You could, I mean, I ate them. You can technically eat them. Back over here before, we had like like a little area like grow like tomatoes and watermelons and stuff. So yeah, because back, this used to be like a porch back here. Then like, I think the roof is like caved in, because I don't think there's like, because my brother's trying to fix this one as much as he can. I think if he had the money, it'd be easier just to bulldoze it and rebuild it if you want to have a house there. But I guess it's the whole sentiment or whatever. But yeah. So at one point in time, when me and my brother was growing up, like we had our room at like this corner of the house, and then later it got changed to the kitchen. So, you know, just like that, you know, that's kind of weird. But it got changed after I moved out. But this is like after the like circumstances that happened here, like just a little over a year ago. It's basically saying, I guess she had certain medication, and someone tried knocking her out to get the medication, and ended up like nicking something, and because of high blood pressure, she bled out. So that's the reason she passed. Supposedly allegedly now. But it's been over a year, and as far as I know, there hasn't been any concrete leads on or anything. So I guess, I mean, after it's been a year, I'm not too worried about spoiling the details, I guess. I mean, all that happened like a year ago. Then it may be because of the whole like drug problem that's going across everywhere, especially like small towns and stuff. But I was kind of wanting to shoot kind of a documentary about how all this has happened. I mean, like this specific instance here, but also this whole community as a whole. I know, like, when you go somewhere, you put like your best foot forward. Then when you look at Mount Airy, you know, Facebook online, it's like they're trying to like make it a make it where it's like this like awesome place to visit and kind of like where you can retire. I guess there's like all these people coming in that have like, you know, maybe if we're working however long, they've accrued, you know, in their savings and IRAs and all that stuff, they accrued, you know, like $1 million or something like that, and they're going to retire, and they figure this is like a small town that they can retire in. Because even somebody I went to school with in Ohio, he was talking about his parents were thinking about moving down here, like completely like not knowing I was from here, like unrelated and stuff. Because the cost of living is, you know, lower here, so it kind of draws people to have like somewhat of, you know, a savings. But there are some people that, you know, I mean, this is probably everywhere, but there's some people here that like just, you know, are able to scrape by. Like maybe that leads into the whole drug culture. I mean, whether that's like trying to sell drugs to get by, or where people don't have a meaning, so they go to drugs to look for a meaning. I mean, there's like all these different avenues that are taken, can be taken to get to that point. But it seems like a lot of small towns are affected by that. So I just kind of want to look into Mount Airy specifically, because that's, you know, where I spent my first, you know, 17 years, and I've been away. Like I come back and visit, you know, maybe a couple of weekends or a week here or 2 a year or something like that, but I haven't like lived here since I was 17, so that was like 14 years. So like, because like I grew up here, so I knew what it was. Then I've gotten away for 14 years, so I kind of have like fresh eyes on the aspect. But I also have people that still, I know I have family and I have friends and stuff that still live here, live around here. Some of them have like, I don't want to say similar, but they have like instances growing up where like their family has like certain, you know, aspects with the whole maybe drug culture or all this other stuff, and all this stuff gets intertwined. I mean, it seems like it's something that's interesting that could have someone could bring light to. But I mean, this whole instance was like my, I guess, interjection into this. So basically what I was getting at, I was contemplating making a series. Maybe this will be, maybe I can like come back here and like visit and try to like get interviews set up, maybe talk with, I don't know, maybe see what's going on here with like the mayors or anybody that wants to talk, or the police department, or like try to figure out specifically what's happening, what's changed, and maybe like a reason behind it. I was gonna make it like a full-length documentary, but maybe now filming this, maybe I can like only get in certain little parts at a time and make like a little like mini doc series or whatever. That maybe later can be put into a giant one, but like release what I have now. And maybe this can be like the first one. So yeah. All right.